Hey everybody, back here at part two. Let's jump right into it. The Cam Newton, quarterback, Auburn. Auburn ranked top two,
Yeah, they're two now, I believe.
number two behind Oregon in college football. Cam Newton, star quarterback from Auburn, front runner for the Heisman until I
Yeah,
probably
that's
said
what
last
I've been
week.
hearing, yeah. Like unanimously front runner.
Yeah. Is in some hot water. He apparently transferred out of Florida because he was about to be expelled for cheating.
Yep.
Then scouts from Mississippi or Mississippi State
Yeah.
said that when they were trying to talk to Newton to come play for them, that him and his father asked, told them, it didn't even ask, said, it's going to take more than a scholarship to
It's
get
basically
him
like
here.
a show me the money kind of
Right.
situation.
And apparently, towards the end, when they talked to Mississippi, they were like, "Listen, Auburn's deal is too good to pass up." So clearly,
Some shenanigans took place.
shenanigans took place. I think the whole Reggie Bush thing because that Reggie Bush thing is like finally losing steam now.
Oh, yeah.
He gave the Heisman
And
back.
it's like 4 years removed.
He
too.
gave the Heisman back. They were still looking into his case 4 or 5 years after he
Oh, yeah.
graduated. So I just feel like the Heisman trustees, whatever you want to call them, there's no way they want to go through that again where the Heisman 2 years in a 6-year span, 5-year span is going to be forfeited
Yeah.
or go to people that, it's going to be a question mark around it. So I think Cam Newton
It's a joke.
single-handedly, I don't care if he goes out this weekend and throws 86 touchdowns
Yep.
and runs for 12.6 thousand yards or whatever the hell it is. I mean, there's not a chance he's going to win the Heisman this year.
Oh, yeah. I hope not.
The bigger story, does this at all impact Auburn? They only have 2 games left, 3 games left. They have 2 or 3 games left, depending on when you listen to this.
Oh, God.
You and I would love nothing more for them to lose a game.
Oh, my God. I just want Boise State, dude, to be in the
You and
top
I are
two.
big
That's
time.
all.
You and I are Smurf Turf fans.
Smurf Turf fans, baby.
I really there's 3 teams in college football that I actively root for. It's in order, by the way: USC,
Goodwill boost.
Boise State.
However, I do hate Lane Kiffin. I will say.
I do hate Lane Kiffin, which is a real kick in the nuts for being a UFC fan.
Yeah.
So USC, Boise State, and Michigan.
Yep. I agree with those 3.
Dude, Denard Robinson is the coolest dude I've ever seen. He plays with his shoelaces
Yeah,
untied.
it's pretty badass.
And he runs like
Pretty
Usain
badass.
Bolt speed on the field. It's absurd.
Oh, my God.
But no, I think the best national championship game, you're going to get the most viewers because there's a lot of people in the country who, let's face it, if you didn't go to a top like 50 athletic school, which is 90% of the population in the U.S.,
Oh, yeah.
then you root for teams that are fun to watch. You root for teams that you see something in that you like watching. A lot of people in the country love watching Boise State. They're so exciting. They're fun. They run unique plays. Statue of Liberty against
Oh,
Oklahoma.
God, that was magical.
The hook and ladder against Oklahoma. That
Yep.
game is phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
And I think the game everybody wants to see is the most fun this year is Boise State versus Oregon.
That would be so awesome.
Each team's going to score 60 points
Oh,
in that
yeah.
title game.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so awesome, back and forth.
It's going to be one of those, whoever makes the one mistake in the game is going to win. I mean, he's going to lose. It's
And
going to be
you
that.
know, Auburn is SEC. I understand they've never won a national title. That sucks,
Right? Go fuck yourself. I don't care.
right? I mean, Boise State's been relevant for like 3 years, 4 years. Oregon, this is like the first time they've ever gone undefeated this long. This is
Yeah.
the first time they've ever been relevant since Joey Harrington, for God's sake.
Joey Harrington,
Right?
right? You.
Blast from the past,
Whip your
baby.
blast with a pass.
Dude, like 2 years
Still
ago,
love
he
Joey
was
H.
back up to Matty Ryan down in Atlanta.
I know.
Now I think he's
Jeez.
just hanging out with Ryan Leaf doing some sort of cocaine in jail or something.
Most likely.
But
Dude, my problem with the BCS is how the fuck does Boise State get leapfrogged?
that's
They had lost 2 games in the last 5 years?
it really is like 2 games in 4 or 5 years.
Jesus
and
Christ.
they're getting. You mentioned earlier they got leapfrogged by TCU, which was a team that they
Who
rocked,
they beat.
absolutely crushed them in a major BCS bowl game last year.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Boise State returned all but 3 starters from last year's team.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same team.
Same team. I understand TCU just went in and beat Utah. Let's be
Utah
honest.
sucks.
Let's be honest. Utah is a good school. Fine. Congratulations. Your football team is good. But they are also mid-conference team.
Yep.
Like TCU, like Boise State. You look at 3 of the top 5 going into last weekend, they're all mid-conference teams. You know what I mean? The only regular ones were Oregon, who's Pac-10, who everybody up until like 2 years ago viewed the Pac-10 as weak. Now you got Oregon State, who you can always shake things up. Stanford's looking like a powerhouse this year.
Yeah, with Luck, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. We need goddamn Auburn to lose a game.
Well, you see, you can't even really say that because what would happen when Oklahoma lost, dude?
I know.
Auburn came from like 15th. That's an exaggeration, but they just like leapfrogged like a shitload of teams.
No, I know. It's I don't know. I don't understand this BCS system. I really hope this is the last year of it. There's been so many teams over the last couple of years who have gotten the shaft. I mean, how great would it have been last year? You have Tim Tebow, who I still don't like even as a pro.
Too.
You loved Tim Tebow?
I love Tim
You
Tebow.
hated him in Florida.
I hated him his first 2 years.
You hated him his whole 4 years.
That's totally not true.
Anyway, so I'm not a Tim Tebow guy, but you have Tim Tebow, there's not really a bigger face to college football over the last 10 years, right?
I'd say
you
that.
have Reggie Bush. I understand. You got that.
The thing with Tim Tebow is he was so squeaky clean.
That's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
He had
He's
commercial.
the epitome of a college athlete.
Right. He's always like all-American boy,
exactly.
good family, religious, all those. You have the face of college football over the last 10 years. In his senior year, and granted, he lost the SEC title game to Alabama by a lot. But how great would it be for them to watch Tim Tebow's last playoff push towards the national title? I understand the big schools, the top 4 or 5 bowls, Tostitos, Rose Bowl, all that stuff. They make a good amount of money.
Oh, fucking A, dude.
But they make that for one game. That's it. And you do an 8-team playoff. A round of 8 goes to 4, 4 goes to 2, 2 to 1. So each one of those, the final 2 schools will have played 3 games, so they collect 3 times as much as playing in 1 game.
Absolutely.
Financially, economically, fans' perspective.
You can't even say, I 100% agree with you, Howard. You can't even say,
You're damn right, you 100% agree with me.
one of the biggest things is, it's scheduling more words. Like, how? Basically, none of the top 10 plays last month.
Right.
You play the last week of November, then you don't play
Until January.
Are you kidding me?
And see, the only thing that really pisses me off is they're like, strength of schedule. I hear more in college football than anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
A basketball season, college basketball, you play 25, 26 games.
Yeah.
College football, it's 11 or 12. And they do strength of schedule. You don't want to put Boise State in a title game because of strength of schedule. Give them a tougher schedule at the beginning of the year.
Seriously.
Let them play Utah.
'Cause
Let them play
I guarantee
TCU.
you, no one wants to play them because of that. I guarantee it.
It's funny because we're going to move on quickly. Boise State, the coach, said, which is why they opened the season against Virginia Tech, because Virginia Tech
rocked.
totally out of conference. But Boise State said, we put out a press release, and we've mentioned it any time. Put us against any team in the country, anywhere, on a neutral ground, we'll beat them.
They can beat anybody, I think, dude. Kellen Moore is a phenomenal quarterback.
No, but it was hilarious because you'll never hear a college coach or any pro coach say, put us against somebody I know will beat them.
Absolutely, and I think it's
Give
awesome.
them a shot. That's all they want. They want a shot.
Just everyone's just pussies and they won't face them.
They just want a shot. Go to the NFL. Wade Phillips just got fired as the
Thank
Cowboys
God.
head coach, which is great because you and I always made fun of Wade Phillips. Like his team would run for it'd be like 3rd and 8. They'd run for like a 4-yard gain. He'd do his fist bump and his jelly juggles, and like
Truffle shuffle, basically.
right. It was just dumb. I mean, you don't see Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, Mike Holmgren when he was coaching, Tony Dungy. These guys, you don't see the epic, the long-standing coaches react to touchdowns in like the second quarter.
Because they act like they've been there before, because they all have. You know what I mean?
But it's funny because they said Wade Phillips tied the record or something
what?
for Cowboys wins in his first 3 years or 4 years.
Congratulations, you're to the team that Bill Parcells built.
Right,
And then fucked it up.
hand delivered.
Oh,
to
yeah.
you. Like they made such a big deal. Bill Parcells drafted DeMarcus Ware, brought in Marcus Spears,
Drafted Tony Romo.
Tony
As much as I
Romo.
fucking hate him.
Went with. I think he even drafted Miles Austin, or they. I think he was the
Something
Miles
like
Austin
that,
was
yeah.
the last piece
His
of the
last
puzzle.
draft, possibly.
But you inherited a team somebody else built for you, and
Yep.
your sole job is not to mess it up.
Seriously.
These are all the pieces. That's like somebody handing you here, I gotta leave, finish my game for me on the Xbox.
Yep.
I'm up by 20 with 2 minutes left.
It's like, don't fuck it up, please.
And then you come back and you lost by 6. You're like, what the hell? But
Dude, the fact that he was a head coach shows that you and I, with no knowledge of the NFL, well, we do have knowledge. But
We have plenty
we
of
could
knowledge.
go into a no knowledge and still be a coach. How do you give that man a fucking coaching job?
I
blows
think
my mind.
there's a lot of coaches that have come and gone over the last couple of years that don't have what it takes to be a head coach. They're great, fantastic offensive and defensive coordinators. Romeo Cornell, Charlie Weiss in college.
Yep.
Wade Phillips was a great coordinator. Norv Turner was a great coordinator.
Yep.
These guys are not head coaches.
Absolutely not.
Then you have people like Mike Tomlin, who was a coordinator, who was built.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's what you look for in a head coach. He's only 36.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be around Pittsburgh for a long time.
He's going to be there for quite a while.
He is.
He's a good coach. Already won 2 bowls, right?
Yeah,
2 bowls,
he's awesome. He's a great. I mean, what a coach, man. Who replaces Phillips long term in Dallas?
I don't know, dude. We were kind of briefly talking about this the other day, you and I.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Jerry Jones signed Jason Garrett to this ridiculous contract for an
$4
assistant.
million a year.
Yeah, just to keep him, because he wanted him to be the future head coach. And it's Dallas, dude. I can't see them going with someone like that. When your expectations are that high, and I know a lot of people are thinking Bill Cowher, but I can't see Cowher going
Cowher
there.
won't do it.
Cowher's a run and fucking grind kind of football. What did Jerome Bettis and the Steelers teams he had with Tony Romo and Jason Wynn and all those weapons? I just don't think that'd be a good fit. If the Jason Garrett experiment fails horribly, Jerry Jones is going to look like a fucking idiot.
I agree with you. I see Garrett riding it out this year. A report came out that a lot of the Cowboys players don't even like Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They don't respect him. He hasn't done anything. Fine. He was a backup quarterback as a player,
Yeah.
and then landed for some reason a coordinator job as the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. In my opinion, there's one guy, and you're going to have to open the checkbook for him. It's John Gruden, man.
Oh, I would love
John
to.
Gruden
Love that dude.
ran the Bucks the way that the Cowboys need to be run. Pounding the ball,
Yep.
strong defense, and quarterbacks that don't make huge mistakes. Who was his quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl?
Oh, I remember.
Something Johnson. Brad Johnson.
Johnson.
Brad Johnson. Was Brad Johnson one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history? No. Is he in the top 20%? No. He's a game manager. He's a
Yep.
Trent Dilfer.
Yep.
He's to me right now, there's so many quarterbacks in the league right now that are being built to be something that they're never going to live up to. I think Mark Sanchez is a good quarterback, comes from USC.
Yeah.
I think he's a good game manager. He's not the guy that can go out there and win you the game.
Oh, I agree. He's not
He
gonna-
did it this past weekend against the
Yeah.
Lions. It's the goddamn Lions. They had Adonikon Sue kicking extra points in the third quarter.
Which is awesome, man.
I think Gruden's going to... But he's got a sweet deal. He's still being
got
paid
a
from Tampa for 2
magical
more
deal
years,
right now.
and he's getting $3 million a year from ESPN
I
to
wouldn't fuck that
broadcast
up.
15 games.
The problem also with Dallas is they don't have a GM. They have Jerry Jones, who runs the show.
There was a poll on ESPN that said who's going to be the Cowboys coach for next year, and Jerry Jones was one of the options.
That's
I hope to
horrible.
God he's not actually thinking of coming down and coaching this team.
I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks he knows everything. I did what happened to Oakland. They subbed balls for the last 6 or 7 years because
Yeah.
Al Davis had his hand in everything. Now he's kind of stepping away, and now they're not great, but
Yeah.
better than they have.
No, I
First
totally agree
3
with you.
games in a row, first time since 2002 or some shit.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We got about a minute and a half here. We got to do it quickly. Who do you want to smack, Manops?
I'm gonna smack Wade Phillips.
Smack Wade Phillips.
Well,
He's
I
on
know
his way
why.
out the door. Why
This
not?
is gonna go back.
Kick him in while he's
This is
down.
gonna go way back in the day.
Way back.
To late 90s. I want to say 98. I'm not totally sure that was the year.
How old were we?
The year that
12?
13. The year that
you were
I was 13. The year that the Bills were in the playoffs with Doug Flutie.
Yes.
And Doug Flutie was kicking the shit out of everyone that season. Remember he came in for Rob Johnson
Yeah.
and just killed everyone. Was basically the reason the Bills made it to the
Yep.
playoffs. And then Wade Phillips decides to yank him for Rob Johnson.
Dumbest thing ever.
And they lost. I've hated Wade Phillips ever since that day. And I'm so happy he's finally fired.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I don't think he'll ever get another starting job.
He should
head
not.
coaching job.
Absolutely not.
For me, we're going to stick NFL coaches for the celeb personality. I want to smack. It's Brad Childress, coach of the Vikings. You have, on paper, one of the most talented teams in the NFL.
without a fucking doubt.
You have Brett Favre, who I'm a huge fan of. I know you're a fan of him too.
I write Green Bay Brett Favre.
I know you still
Post
like him
Green
as a
Bay
player.
days.
You don't like the stuff he does.
Keep debatable.
You have one of the best teams on paper, and this is probably Brett Favre's last year. The team wants to play, wants to win. They just don't want to win, play and win for you.
He let go of Randy Moss. I'll tell anybody. He's like, oh hey, fuck you, he's not.
Did you see what he said? We got to wrap it up. He went on the press conference this past week, and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to stand up here looking for cuds and consolation like Brett Favre is. We love you guys. We got to go.
Add
See you
people.
next week. Add people. Bye."